Aloha! Welcome to the Live Ukulele podcast. My name is Brad Bordessa. I'm your host. Every first and third Saturday of the month. Be sure to subscribe if you aren't already so you hear about the latest episodes. Check out my website, Live Ukulele, for many ukulele learning resources. Well, I'm very happy to bring onto the podcast one of my first ukulele heroes, one of my mentors over the years, a good friend, Mr. Ohta Jr. Thanks for joining me.
Sorry, you couldn't be here, so I'm here.
We're doing our best. We're making do. You got lost in 2020 somewhere along the way.
Well, yeah, 2020 just totally is the worst year ever.
What have you been doing with your 2020? You're usually a very busy guy who's touring multiple times a year over in Asia. And what have you been doing on your time off?
Nothing. But no, I mean, when this pandemic hit and we all had to go into some sort of lockdown, I say some sort of lockdown because not everyone was locked down. But I said to myself, oh, should get a vaccine, or it's going to go away. May comes, June comes, right? And July, I'm like, oh, I got to do something to get income.
Right.
So ended up trying to upgrade a lot of my technology stuff. I mean, got a new computer because right now I'm using a MacBook Air, my laptop, but I bought a new desktop, and because graphics card is very important from what I hear. So I have to get a stronger computer to do more online stuff. And I've done 3 workshops during the pandemic. I'm planning to do a performance thing in November. And then I'm producing Jake's workshop, which I can't say when it is yet.
Or where people might find out about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that man, he has, his management team, and he has people on payroll, man. So there's certain rules and regulations that he needs to follow. So we can't push anything yet. So
nice. So adapting like the rest of us.
Well, how have you been, man?
Well, I'm just hustling with the website stuff, trying to bring that up, in the Google search results, and working on the course and updating the books and keeping everything as relevant as possible. Because as soon as COVID started, whatever dream I had of being a performing artist kind of went completely out the window. I mean, it's already been hard to pursue that on Big Island, but it's like, well, teaching's where it's at. Good thing I have this online platform.
Well, I mean, not all of it sucks of 2020. I mean, I've been home. I've probably been the healthiest I've ever been during the course of the year. I've never used so much hand sanitizers in my life. Haven't. It's the first time I think I washed my hands more than in 1 month than I did like the whole year last year. But I mean, but there's a positive. There's always something positive. So I think I learned quite a bit in terms of. I mean, I'm using a webcam. I'm using this microphone, and I think it's going to be like this for a while. So I might as well just get used to it.
Right. Which is kind of funny for you to say because you're the reason my family ever got into Mac. Because long, long ago you said, hey, you should get a Mac so we can FaceTime. And so my mom supported the buying of a Mac so that I could video chat with Uncle Herb.
But you have to say, though, that Macs are, I mean, come on now. You open anything from Apple. There's no directions on how to use it. I think their engineering and design they're made for just people that it just makes it simple to use.
Right. It's straightforward. My only gripe is that it's so proprietary, and if you try and use anything third party, a lot of times you end up with major compatibility issues and zero support. But it's just the way it goes, and we suck it up and we say yes, thank you.
True that.
So have you been writing or playing much in this time? Are you feeling like it's inspiring to be home, or is it kind of I don't know, does it cloud up your musical mind?
It's so funny. We have this Ukulele Friends Hawaii panel thing that we do Monday and Thursdays. Brian Tolentino that this was his brainchild, but it was just something that we just got together just because we're on lockdown. We weren't able to see each other or anything like that. So it was one way of just keeping in touch, So we're doing that. We're still doing that, and then I did an album in January after the NAMM show. I got home, went to the studio, planning to go to Japan 5 times this year, and I was supposed to go in March. So I was driving my engineer and co-producer nuts because it was like towards the end of January already. I needed product by March. So we worked our butts off for like a week and a half and then manufactured the product. We got the thing in March and it's like, what? Pandemic? What? Lockdown? What? So I knew my first trip was gone. I was like, oh yeah, okay, no problem. My May trip was canceled. What? So, and by July it was like, oh yeah, the rest of the trips are canceled. So I have a closet full of CDs. Oh, room, I should say. Room full of CDs. So, but that's about it. But in terms of writing, no. But what I was going with that Ukulele Friends panel thing was like in the beginning, like from March to like May, we're all talking, and Jake's part of it too. And we're all on screen talking. It's like, hey, when was the last time you touched your ukulele? Right? I mean, it's like, wow, yeah, So I did this workshop in September, beginning part of September, and I did a performance after the workshop. And John Yamasato played with me, and we were tossing out songs like what key was this in? How did this song go again? And realize that if you don't even touch your, if you don't touch your ukulele for like a week and you play again for like 1 or 2 hours, your hands become sore. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's some sort of tightness, right? Because you're not using these muscles, right? Imagine not playing for like a month and a half, and then you pick up your ukulele again. It's like, maybe I should downsize to a concert or something.
That's so interesting because I've, definitely experienced that where I'm not as inspired to just play all the time, but also you realize that the performing is the practice, at a certain point, and you're not playing in your bedroom and practicing quite as much as you ever were. So
right.
It's interesting to hear that you guys are experiencing that as well.
Well, yeah, and then and then all of a sudden, everyone needs to adapt, right? Because of this pandemic. So, and the funniest is Jake because he has everyone else doing stuff for him, right? So, for him to download Zoom, I mean, the funny part was that when he hosted his, we take turns hosting, right? Who's gonna host and who's gonna moderate and who's gonna check the Facebook chat line and all that kind of stuff. And then Jake said, "Oh, I'll host." And then the funny thing that he hosted it to his personal Facebook page, which not everyone knows he has, right? Because he has an artist page, right? So we're like, Jake, we're he goes, yeah, we're live. We're like, we're on the Ukulele Friends Hawaii page. We're like, no, you're not. He goes, oh, yeah, I'm live. It says we're live. And then he was live on his personal Facebook page. So all of us, I think collectively, we had to adapt or learn more about computer technology, getting interfaces so we could plug in our instruments and microphones and all that kind of good stuff. And then and we have Craig Chi.
Right.
Craig and Sarah was part of our panel. And I remember the first time I really hung out with them, and Sarah told me that Craig would be the most expensive friend that I have. And sure enough, everyone was like buying webcams and desktop mic stands and microphones and interfaces. And then at one point, we're like, hey, none of us are working. Are we supposed to save money? What's going on here? Like, why are we spending money? What's going on here? Yeah, but the writing part is not there. I mean, I think if everyone was to write songs during this time, it will be so sad. I don't know. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to start writing once the election is over with, whether it's good or bad. And hopefully next year is a better year,
We have it's all B-sides this year.
Okay, that's a good way of putting it, I guess, right? Who else have you been in touch with in terms of ukulele?
James, I ping him back and forth. We're always kind of emailing back and forth, just one-liners like, hey, have you used this? Hey, have you tried this?
He still doesn't have a cell phone, yeah?
I think he might now. Yeah, the world has moved on. Yeah, I talked to Neil Chin the other day for a podcast thing. Got to kind of get to know him a little bit better. We met very briefly at a gig in Seattle, but other than that, haven't really talked to him before. And then I have my local guys that I play with here and there, and we've been in touch just kind of more as friends than anything. But it's been pretty quiet. I don't, Big Island by itself isn't very exciting as far as music goes in the best of times. And, right now it's just like you might as well just do your own thing.
Right. Exactly. It's like I talked to a friend, and he's a local boy, but he lives in Okinawa. And he's a retired military. He got married there. He has a family there. And so his wife still works, right? His kids are out of the house. The kids are all in college. So he tells me, yeah, man, I wake up in the morning, water the yard, cook breakfast, go on the computer, check emails, search the web, and eat lunch. And then he takes a nap. Then he wakes up. When his wife comes home, they prepare dinner, they eat dinner, watch a little television. Then he goes back to sleep for the evening, right? And I'm always teasing him. Wow, just like me. No, I'm just joking. It's different. It's just very different during this time. I mean, I was talking to some other musicians, and it's like, yeah, we all unpacked our bags, our suitcases. Normally, we keep some stuff still packed because we know we normally leave like in 2 or 3 weeks. But now it's like, oh yeah, I have that stuff in my suitcase. Let me take it out, you know. So it's kind of weird, but I mean, it's good too that we're home.
Do you feel rested?
Over rested. I mean, it's come to a point sometimes, like I wake up during the day going, what should I do today? Yeah, you know, it's like, well, then I end up watching Netflix, or I just hope that this vaccine comes out and everyone can be everyone decides. I hope everyone decides to get vaccinated. I mean, that's the thing. The vaccine can come out, but not everyone. You have a choice of you getting, taking it or not, right?
Yeah.
And I know there's some people out there that think that this COVID-19 thing is a fluke, but you can't tell that to families of personal loved ones passing from it,
right?
Which is sad. It always hurts when you get a headline that says whatever so many amount of cases, but 1 COVID death or 2 COVID deaths, or I mean, it's always sad because family members can't see them, right?
That's the hardest. What sounds like the hardest part of going through that.
Right.
I mean, we had the veterans home over here in Hilo. They got blasted. It was like 20, 25, I think, around there that all passed, just like boom, boom, boom.
So, come on, man, toss me questions. Go. I'm ready.
Too dark. Well, you've been talking about not playing. Has that brought any kind of perspective to your music? Like when you've gotten back on the instrument, like, oh, I never realized this, that, or the other thing?
No. You know me, man. It's just, it's like, ooh.
Rusty, not rusty.
Rusty meaning, I define rusty as trying to remember how my songs go or arrangements go. But other than that, it's like riding a bike. You know how it is, right? You pick it up, it's like, you play some songs. But sometimes, this is the cool part. I would play a song that I haven't played in years, right? I would just play, like, say, for example, Eagles' Love Will Keep Us Alive. I recorded it back in 2005. So I'm like, because I heard it I watched them performing it on YouTube, right? Or I watched the Eagles documentary on Netflix. So I start playing it. I'm like, no, that's not how it went. But wow, that sounded pretty cool. But I mean, I think the muscle memory is there, but my brain is hearing it. Something is different. Sometimes when you play, you go back and you try to play old stuff, and then you come out with different phrasing. Then I'll be like, oh, wow, that's different. But if you ask me to play it again, I probably couldn't. Because once I get back into the song, then it's like my brain starts, oh yeah, that's not how it went. This is how it goes.
Right. So almost that emptiness in your mind allows for you to find things that you never never would have found otherwise.
Probably because you're always on the go, right? When you have normalcy in the world, and it's like I travel, I come home. I travel again, I come home. But I'm you performing these songs, and it's like the songs are always with you, right? Because you're constantly playing. But and then you stop playing and you stop performing. It's like, how does the song go again? And you play, it's like, no, that's not how it goes. But wow, that's pretty funky how I did that.
How have you developed a sense for arranging over the years? I know you've always been a big proponent of taking a song and keeping what you have to keep, but otherwise making it your own. I know you always encouraged me to do that, to kind of find my own voice and create my own intros and outros. How did you get to a point where that was kind of how you approached a song?
When my father like lectured me, um, I played a song for him, and then he just said that, okay, anyone can play that. And I used to say, ask him like, what do you mean? And he goes, well, if you're gonna record a cover, you're gonna have to make it your own. Meaning, when someone hears an introduction, they know it's you that's playing it, or they know it's your arrangement, kind of thing. So I kept that to heart when I started recording. After my first solo project, I really got into trying to arrange stuff. It was my first time trying to do that. So from my second album in 1999, I started charting things out for the musicians, and try to develop introductions and outros to make it different but yet familiar.
And do you have a process for making that happen? Is that like the odds and ends of songs that you haven't finished that end up as intros or outros, or?
No, it comes from playing the song, and then once I get a vibe of how the song goes in terms of what the composer did, then I listen to the original. Some songs you can't. Well, this is just my opinion. There's some songs out there that you can't change. It has to be the same. If not, don't even play it.
Right.
Like, because for me, Eagles, Hotel California, you don't have that intro, like what that 12-string guitar player. Yeah. What's the point of you doing it? Right. So you do all that. I can make up an intro and then just start playing the song. But no one's going to remember the intro because it's so embedded with everyone, the original version. Right. So there's some songs you can't even touch in terms of doing an introduction or outro.
So do you gravitate towards playing stuff that's a little more B-side, kind of less famous songs? It seems like there's a happy medium maybe where it's not so iconic that you can't mess with it, but still is recognizable.
Good question. There's there's popular songs that I truly like, but there's other songs that I like, but you may not like. When you've heard an original version of it and you go, and then when I play it, you'll be like, I've come to a point in my life or my career that if it's a cover tune, it's a song that I like. Easy as that.
I've been able to watch you teach over the years and learn from your teaching, and you're always, I don't know, I think of you as kind of like a cut and dried teacher. in the best sense of the phrase. What if there was one thing that you could like work on an ukulele student with? What is it normally that you drill them on or encourage them to do?
Practice. um,
Cut and dried, I'm telling you.
well, I mean, it's so funny. My way of teaching has changed over the years. I realized that I can't put kids in the corner of the room anymore. If I do that now, then it's like, abusive, and I'll probably get thrown in jail.
Right.
But, because at that time I was like, okay, you're going to do it this way. And if you can't do it this way, then you shouldn't be here, kind of thing, which I still believe. But everyone has their own way of learning, right? Or their own speed, or they go through a process on their own. Not everyone's the same. So I realized that, and I realized that when you travel around the world, everyone learns differently, or culture-wise, and what everyone wants to learn is different. Like if you go to the mainland US, and then you're teaching, say you're teaching an intermediate advanced level class, everyone wants to learn technique. They want to learn how to improvise. They want to, because they're trying to expand their playing ability, right? I go to Japan, everyone wants to just play a song the way I play it. So they want to learn exactly what I do for a particular song, note for note, strum for strum. And to me, I realized that everyone has their own way of learning and what they want to learn. So what I've been preaching to my students now is patience, because they all want to run before they walk. And I think patience is very important. Practicing is still important, but if you're passionate enough, you don't have to tell someone to practice, right? So to me, I tell them straight out. I say, if you don't practice, then there's no sense of you paying anyone to teach you, right? If you wanna just play stuff on your own, then that's fine, right? So if there's an understanding there at that level, then I start preaching, okay, you're getting frustrated because you're not patient with yourself, right? You're just going to have to work your way through it. So I'm normally telling my students, if you get to a frustration point, stop, go do something else, and then come back and try work it again. But it's how you approach it, right? If you approach it going, I gotta conquer this part today. I gotta learn this part today, or I gotta learn this technique today. I gotta get it down today, right? If you approach it that way, then you're putting so much pressure on yourself that once you can't do it, like once or twice, you're already at that frustration tipping point. But if you approach it going, let's see if I can do this today, right? Thinking, if not, I'll try tomorrow. That's more of a positive way of thinking, So I think a student just has to learn to be patient. Yeah, it's like that Karate Kid movie, right? Right?
Totally.
Is it
so true?
Right? It's like, put on your jacket, take off your jacket, put it on the ground, pick up your jacket, put on your jacket, take off your jacket, and Will's son was like, "What the heck? I want to learn how to punch, kick, block, whatever, and you're telling me to just put on my jacket, take it off, throw it on the ground, pick it up, kind of thing." So, but But during that process, you have to explain to them why. I mean, don't be like that, Karate Kid teacher, and just say, just put on your jacket and stuff, and not knowing why. Yeah. So I think I've changed in that sense quite a bit.
Do you notice culturally that some peoples like a culture are more equipped to approach music with that sense of patience and therefore succeed easier or advance faster than others? Because I've taught in just a single weekend workshop in Germany, and the first thing I noticed over there is that everybody is like tuned in, like way more than any other class I've ever taught. It was unbelievable. They were like there to learn, and they were there to suck as much information out of me as possible. And I had never experienced that before, and it was just, I was stoked. It was super fun because they were just getting stuff left and right. But it was also a very stark contrast to what I'm used to, where everybody's kind of like, oh, I don't really get it, or
But it also,
have you seen that
it
elsewhere?
also depends on, like how you say, like, okay, Germany, they might be the more serious,
Well, no doubt.
right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it depends on what part. See, because if people know me or people know of my music or my style of play, it's melody, it's finger picking, right? I can strum, but I can't strum an instrumental song just strumming. I mean, I could if I was, if I wanted to play like Lyle or Benny but if I was to just strum chords as an instrumentalist, you got to have melody, right? And for me, the cleanest melody is to pick. If people know of my music and they know what they're getting into when they're taking a lesson from me, right? I may not be a suitable teacher for people in the United Kingdom because a lot of people in the United Kingdom, from what I've experienced, they love to strum and sing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm talking about they're very passionate about the ukulele, but they love to strum and sing. They don't stop when they're tired. They stop when they pass out, like they're like, okay, I can't play anymore, and they just go to sleep. Japan, very serious. China, very serious. Korea, very serious. I think Asia in general, they're very serious about learning as much as they can. I'm not saying they're better, which country or what part of the world is better than the others, because everyone has, like I said, everyone has their own way of learning or wanting what they want to learn, you know? So as an instructor, you're going to have to adapt. I won't go to Japan and teach, Frank Sinatra, The Way You Look Tonight song. I would do that in the mainland or something. Like Japan, they either go for originals or they want to learn like real popular songs, you know. It's just different.
Have you done Dynamite yet?
No, I have not.
Who's going to do it first? Brittany?
Probably, probably, probably. I mean, I did a video. I mean, it's so weird during this pandemic. I downloaded the acapella app, and I made our friend Asa Young. He downloaded the app. I never thought of doing this song, playing it, but I learned it, and we did it. We did an acapella version of it of Bee Gees. How Deep Is Your Love? And it's like, wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, the way it came out, but I would never have thought of, you know, I think it was because of the pandemic that I was just like, let's try something different. I mean, right now, I've been trying to do Master Blaster.
Oh,
I'm waiting for my bass player to actually learn the part. So once that happens, then, I'll be ready to go. But So what's cool is that everyone, I know I play a lot of slow songs, and I know I record a lot of slow songs. John Yamasato calls me like the ukulele ballad king or whatever it is, because I always play slow songs. So when I come up with something fast, we're like, what? So I can't wait till Master Blaster finishes. But in actuality, we started doing this acapella thing 3 months ago. I don't remember how to play it. So I think that whoever has the passion to learn, the instructor just has to adapt. If they can't adapt, then they got to go get someone else. But
Mm-hmm.
but it's cool that during the pandemic, everyone wants to learn. Because I thought doing stuff online is not good because you can't play really with them. I know there's, a friend of ours is always trying to tell me to try use Jamulus. Have you tried that?
I haven't. I've had several people tell me that I should try it though.
So it's like, oh, you guys can all play together and do all that, right? And I'm like, but I think it depends on everyone's internet speed.
Yeah.
Right?
That rules me out.
But so I was pretty hesitant of doing online stuff, because it's hard. You want to play with your student, right? Or the student wants to play with the instructor. But the comments I've been getting after doing the workshops is, oh, this online stuff is the best because we can actually see what you're doing. Because if you
you're close.
Because you're close, right? Because if you go in a room, the person in the back, well, obviously with my height in the front, they're not going to be able to see me unless they stand up or they come closer to me.
Standing
right?
ovation.
No, but right. But with this computer thing, you can actually see, people can actually see what you're doing. Because when I do online workshops now, I offer a video of me playing the material, the worksheets, and then a copy of the workshop, the recording of the whole workshop. So they have all of that. I mean, normally, if I'm there in person, people won't even have that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They just get the handouts and that's it. So, yeah, it was hard for me to even start thinking about doing online stuff in the beginning of this pandemic because everyone was hurting. Everyone was losing jobs, right? No one was working except for grocery market peoples or essential businesses.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, mostly all of us weren't working. So it's hard for me to, okay, I'm going to put out a workshop and this is my fee. It was hard for me to even do a performance and put like a tip jar or, if you can you donate, you can donate if you like my music, donate or tip me or whatever. It's hard for me to ask because, my father told me, because I thought, wow, before when I first started, I go gig somewhere and it's like, oh yeah, here's a wine bucket, ice bucket, just leave it out front and people can throw money in, right? So I go home after my first gig and I show my dad I got like 20 something bucks in tips. And my dad goes, I never collected a tip. And I said, and me, it's like, why? And he goes, because I put a jar or something or a bucket in front of me for tips. It's like I'm begging. Once he told me that, I never, wherever I gig, I never have a tip jar. Because it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It's tough. It's tough though. Then the entire business rides on that fee for the workshop or whatever. So it's kind of a give and take.
Right.
And that's, just by nature going to exclude some people And that's something I've wondered about is like how do you incorporate the people who really are hurting, who have the passion?
Yeah.
Because I've always thought that, I grew up, with Kyoki doing the workshop, and it was always scholarship students, and that's just the way it was, as you shared with the people who were up and coming and really had the fire for playing and wanted to learn, even if they didn't have the funds to do so. And it seems like trying to facilitate that online is even more tricky because you can't meet the people, and that's something that I would really like to see more of, or figure out, be able to kind of scale that cliff.
Yeah, I mean, because look, yeah, my CD, it's a 2 disc set. It's 24 songs, right? Because it's celebrating my 30th anniversary this year. So all that celebration just went out the door when this pandemic hit. I know. Exactly. But once I got it manufactured, it's storage, right? And everyone's telling me, "Oh, you should just release it. You should just release it." I said, "No, I feel funny releasing it right now." It's like, yeah, everyone's hurting, but I have a product. I have a new product. Buy my product, right? And then, but after several failures of opening and going back into lockdown, and opening and going back into lockdown, I just said, "Oh, heck with it. I'm just gonna release it, but only off my website. It's not even on iTunes, and I don't push it. I don't promote it. So you can delete this part of the video." So it's hard to balance that in terms of what you feel is right or what you feel is morally correct. But not everyone thinks like that.
Yep, we're navigating uncharted waters.
Totally. I'm happy my family still smiles at me when they wake up in the morning and they see my face. Because I'm normally not home. I've been talking to several musicians and they're like, "Yeah, I kind of like it." Some musicians that I know that always travel, they're like, even though I'm not working, I kind of like being home. Of course you get used to it, right? So it's like, wow. And I'm talking to someone that always travels. So they're telling me, yeah, I'm used to being home now. I wouldn't know what to do, like what to pack anymore. So that's kind of weird. But the main thing is that everyone's try to stay healthy. I mean, we don't want to lose any more lives than we have. That's the sad part. So how's your folks? Are they happy they see you every day?
So far, pretty much so good. Hanging in there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
It's definitely an adjustment period, but yeah.
Definitely.
Got the team spirit going on for sure, which is very, very cool. Well, thanks for chatting with me and catching up and sharing what you've been up to. Herbotojunior.com, is that the best place that people can find out about your workshops and albums and stuff?
Yes.
Herbotojunior.com. Great.
Or just search for me on Facebook or something.
Nice. Do you have any upcoming workshops going on?
November 21st, I'm probably going to do a performance. It's like celebrating my CD thing, but and I'm not giving away. I'm raffling off concert Kamako ʻukulele.
Cool.
Gonna have John Yamasato, Will Tafolo will be playing bass, and I think Jake will be a special guest.
Sounds great.
That's kind of weird, you know. It's like during this pandemic, I've gotten to really know. I mean, I've known Jake, but not really known him. I mean, we didn't really uh, talk as much because we're both busy. But during this pandemic stuff, I'm going to give you an example. When Josh Green got COVID, Lieutenant Governor gets COVID, it gets plastered everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Right? He calls me and he goes, "Hey, Herb, you heard Josh Green got COVID." And first thing that comes out of my mouth is, "Dude, you must be bored out of your mind because you're calling me just to tell me Josh Green got COVID." I'm like, you know what? Just get the car, put the boys in the car, your wife, just drive around the island. Think about it. No traffic. Just go. Right? Just go to the gas station, fill up your tank, and just drive around the island and just check out scenery or something. Well, sometimes I have to get in my car and just drive. Like I'll just drive around my town and come back home. We just, I just hope and pray for everyone out there that tunes in, that everyone stays safe and healthy, and especially you, your brother, and your parents.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying my best.
That's all we can do.
Exactly. So, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, anytime. It's always a pleasure, and we didn't get to catch up at the workshop this year, so
You want to do this tomorrow?
it's either me or Netflix. Is that what you're saying?
No. I mean, it's I think those of you listening or tuning in, Brad Bordessa is a student of the instrument, meaning, and it's not degrading you at all. It's a compliment, because not every musician out there that are performing and they consider themselves professional, they're not a student of the instrument. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I want your listeners and your viewers to understand that when they see you or they hear you, that you're passionate about what you're doing. It's not for money. It's not for popularity. It's not a popularity contest with you. You genuinely have passion for the ukulele. That means you're a student, and you'll always be a student of the instrument. So I want people who listen in and tune in to understand that when they hear you, they see you, they listen to your CD or something, that they understand that.
Well, thank you. I'm just doing my thing. That's what I tell everybody. That's what I love to do.
Yeah, of course, but not everyone is like that, and
Right.
I think people will appreciate that. I think people appreciate anyone that's a student of what their craft is,
Mm-hmm.
and not doing it for any other reason, but just genuinely passionate about your craft. And I want people to understand that you are passionate about your craft.
You heard it here first.
And that's the only,
folks.
but that's the only compliment you're getting from me
I
this
know.
year. So
I get one per year.
I don't know how bummed you were when they canceled June's workshop. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, Auntie Nancy sent that email. It's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a long year.
Oh.
Nah, they were really early on it, I thought. I mean, they were yanking the plug like, what was it, March, April? Like just first signs of COVID were coming into Hawaii, and Auntie Nancy's like, oh, sorry, that's our clientele, is everybody who's at risk. So stay home, folks.
Yeah,
but
but
it's
I
too,
think it will make it. I think it will be very exciting, very high energy. Everyone will be happy when everyone gets together again for these camps, and
yeah,
looking forward to it.
yeah, will be long, long overdue.
Yep.
Very good, sir. Thank you for your time.
You take care now.
Yep, you too.
All right.
Be sure to find out more about Herb's performance coming up later in the month. You can subscribe to his mailing list through his website, herbotajr.com, and also find out about taking Skype lessons from him as well. If you haven't heard his music already, in my opinion, it's some of the essential music that every ukulele player should hear. I remember that his Ukulele Breeze album was actually one of the very first ukulele albums I ever heard, and it really just knocked my socks off. And ever since then, I've been a huge fan and can't believe that I get to call him a friend and a mentor. And I'm so grateful for him and all the guidance he's given me over the years. I'll catch you in the next episode. Be kind to one another. Stay safe out there. And I'll see you back here the first and third Saturdays of the month. Aloha.